Descent of the Demon God. By Hanjo Wiolia. Chapter 117. Black Athena. Part 1. Two organizations which were acknowledged by Huan Miao, the head of the Sky Demon Order's information office. Black Athena and Club PAB. One of them was Black Athena, which was located near Jinan City. Kook. Lord. It smells like the sea already, isn't that right? Makian? Why yes it does. They hadn't even left the station yet, so they were still underground. There was no way they could smell the sea from there. Hu Bong, who was extremely excited, and Bi Makian, who treated him like a mentor, were acting like this. Looking at them, Yusowa just shook her head. Originally, Lord Chen Wu Jin and Chen Yujing asked Chen Youan to take more people with him, but he refused. Lord. My wife. No. Hu Bong asked for Man Ranyang to accompany them, but Chen Youan was against it. And the reason was simple. She needs to stay here in case something happens. Although the merger went smoothly, there were still enemies waiting for the chance to attack the Sky Demon Order. The Murim Association, Blade 6. In addition, the demons who were special entities, were boldly infiltrating their site. That was the reason he wanted to leave behind a strong person. Surprisingly, this time Shakina obeyed the orders right away. Guard him at the headquarters. The person Chen Youan asked to be guarded was Dao. Demons who lost their core couldn't recover their bodies if it wasn't placed back right away. Oddly enough, Dao entered into a cocoon state, a state of self-recovering. Don't let anyone touch him. I understand. Master. After seeing Chen Youan absorb the energy from the demon core, Shakina acted more cautious. Maybe she was scared of having her core coveted by him. And it didn't seem like a bad outcome for Chen Youan, who wouldn't have to push her away. If my guess is correct, that traitor demon is among the executives of the Murim Association. He was angry with Chen Youan over the incident in the judicial prison and boldly sent his assistants. And such a person wouldn't give up just because Kyle died. Before that, I need to find clues regarding Becky. With that, Chen Youan came here. Enemies who realized that he was the center of the Sky Demon Order were likely to attack him. And before they earnestly enter war mode, he wanted to find Becky. Vice Chairman. Can we move publicly like this? As he was going upstairs, Bi Makian asked. The reason was simple. Whisper. A lot of people were already looking at Chen Youan as if they recognized him. Oh my. Isn't that person the vice chairman of the Yongchen group who appeared on the news? It's the person who protected the Ministry of National Defense during a case in the judicial prison. After that incident, Chen Youan became a celebrity. In a world where gates have opened, the Ministry of National Defense was very important. And the public thought great of him as he saved a man from that department. He is the vice chairman of a large corporation at that age. So cool. Most of them were young women. Chen Youan was pretty fine looking, he was tall and a cold city man vibe was around him. However, what attracted women the most was that he was the vice chairman of a large corporation. They seemed to like the Lord very much. Hee hee. More excited at the gossip of women, Hu Bong spoke to Chen Youan. He was now a supreme master, so he heard everything. Lord. It might be better to pretend like you don't care. Bai Makian said as he looked at Hu Bong. He really didn't like the attention they were getting. Worried? I am afraid that those who tried to send assassins would send them again. Their location was out. And all sorts of enemies were aiming for Chen Youan now. Chen Youan smiled and said to Bi Makian. That is why we are here. What? Rather, that was his goal from the beginning. Exposing himself was a ruse. The true purpose was to make the enemy's attention turn to him rather than the headquarters of the Yongchen group. I would appreciate it if they aim for me. Meanwhile, the Murim Association in Cheongju had an emergency meeting. They were in utter chaos because of the prison case. The current public opinion was divided into two clans that wanted to withdraw from the association and those who wanted to protect their clan members who were trapped. Meanwhile, the person behind all that was happening appeared in Cheongju, so they were flustered. It was said that they moved into town. What should we do? At Kwok Cheon-ji's question, all executives were shocked. It was impossible for them not to remember what happened. In the Murim Association, the demonic cult was their all-time enemy. Their main enemy was now in their area, so it was right to respond. However, they heard that one of them was stronger than the 5 great warriors. And there weren't any decent ones in Cheongju. Chief, did you not hear that the one named Chun Musong had destroyed the entire main office? How can we stop him? When one of the executives said that, the others added, right. It would only make things worse. It doesn't seem like they are here to mess with us, why not leave them alone? At those words, Kwok Cheon-ji seemed troubled. Like they said, he was moving openly. They could just watch the man. But he was worried if this was some kind of trap. Is this a trap? Gradually, he began to believe that Chen Yoan was up to something. If not, he couldn't find another excuse. Right. Let this go. Rather, he could be doing this to taunt us too. Right now, the public opinion of the association wasn't good. And if they moved and fell into a trap for nothing, it would be even more embarrassing. Right. If this is a trap, it seems appropriate to just watch them. Let's just inform the people to monitor them and make sure they aren't messing with the city. Everyone nodded as they agreed to it. But then, a man raised his hand. Branch chief? He was Yom Hae-kyun, the deputy head of the association and holder of the beer business. Unlike his droopy eyes, he was greedy and wasn't the same as the other executives. The words of the branch chief are right, but what if the demonic cult came to join hands with the forces of evil in Cheongju? Come. Kwok Cheon-ji coughed as if he didn't like what he just heard. Here, in Cheongju, the forces of evil were more active than in other cities. They were involved in trade and liquor and were using drugs too. Because of a lot of reasons, the Murim Association couldn't touch them. What are you trying to say? Deputy Chief? In response to the question, Yom Hae-kyun smiled. I am just saying use barbarians to deter other barbarians. It meant to pit one against another. We leaked the information to the forces of evil in advance. Leak information? If the demonic cult is trying to enter Cheongju, and the person in charge of the group is visiting here, wouldn't they be riled up? The executives seemed a little interested in the plan. It seemed plausible too. Especially since it didn't require the association to use their power. If they could move the forces of evil, then the results would be out. And nothing would happen to the Murim Association. Kwok Cheon-ji, who thought that Yom Hae-kyun was aiming for his spot, didn't like this, but agreed to it. Fine. Let's do that. Then who will handle this? At that, Yom Hae-kyun got up. Since I was the one who suggested it, I will handle it. Suddenly, Kwok Cheon-ji felt a weird chill when he saw the man take the lead. But if something went wrong, he could throw the blame on Yom Hae-kyun. On the other hand, an elevated war overlooking the sea. Chen Yoan and his party members were riding a black sedan down the road. A man in his mid-30s wearing a yellow cap was driving the car. He was an agent of the information agency of the cult. He was ordered to wait for them in front of the station and was now taking them to Black Athena. Black Athena was located in the downtown area on the southeast coast. It was commonly known to be a place of pleasure. Based on our research, the Black Athena has ranked by trading. Agent Rayan gave information about Black Athena. Not many details were known because they do things secretly, But they managed to gather information from people by telling them they would do business with them. Tack. Agent Rayan, who was driving, pulled something out of his pocket and handed it. It was 4 coins. Coins with an image of Greek goddess Athena holding a spear and shield, one in copper, one in red and the other 2 in blue. These coins represent membership of Black Athena. They said that the members are divided into 7 types, white for guests. Blue is for level 5 trading. Red is for level 4 trading. Copper is for level 3 trading. Silver is for level 2 trading. And gold is the first class trading. It was said that black was only owned by the VIP level ones. Looking at the coins, Chen Yuan asked. Seems like for us, the copper is the highest leveled one of these 4. Sorry. We were running out of time. Chen Yuan had arrived here in less than half a day. In that time alone, they managed to get information and memberships for them. It doesn't matter how to use these. It is said that if you enter the club, which is the main building of Black Athena, there is a large coin design on it. And if the coin is shown there, you are allowed to enter. The process was simpler than he thought. Since they were mainly doing behind-the-scenes transactions, he thought they would pay more attention to the security, but they seemed rather lax. I'll know once I enter. The black sedan soon entered the downtown area. As if it was Las Vegas, the place was full of colorful places and filled with entertainment venues worthy of the title City of Pleasure. Kick. The car halted as entry to the place of Black Athena was restricted. And there were so many people on the road that driving it would be tough. I will be waiting in the public parking lot on the 4th Street about 100 meters away. After leaving the car, Chen Yuan headed to the gates of Black Athena with the others. As it was still around 5 p.m., there were huge neon signs lit and EDM music rang out. Thud. 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 Hu Ban looked at the music ringing out from the speakers and the people entering Black Athena with shocked eyes. In particular, his pupils contracted each time he saw women's breasts revealing through their clothes and thigh-high skirts. Is this how this place normally is? Chen Yuan frowned as this was his first time coming here. People were drinking and dancing, and as they went inside, it felt weirder for them. Lord. Thank you. For what? Even if I die now, I have no regrets. Hee hee hee. Hu Ban looked at the women shaking their hips with his red face. Yu Sowa, who was next to him, took a photo of his face and said, "Click. I'll send it to Sister Ranyang." Eh? Hu Ban wondered why she took the photo. Gasp. He had to plead with her after that. This was Hu Ban's only weakness. When entering the site of Black Athena, the stage was set up outdoors in front of the building and the DJ raised the mood. Thud. 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 Noisy. Chen Yuan never enjoyed music, but listening to this, he missed the music from wind instruments. In this era, he quickly got used to various cultures, but it seemed like this was something he could never understand. And even more shocking as they went further inside. Starting with colorful lasers, artificially created smoke on the ground, and men and women dancing like crazy. Thud. Thud. The EDM music kept hitting their ears. After passing the dancing stage and as they went inside, they saw a huge door with Goddess Athena under small stairs. That seems to be the place. Vice Chairman. In front of that large door, 2 large men in black suits were guarding it. Both were martial arts users. I heard it's Sapphire, quite good. Chen Yuan nodded at Hu Ban's words. These people were only guards, but they were still amazingly skilled. He heard that most of the forces of evil had fallen during this time, but seeing these people, that didn't seem right. As Chen Yuan and his party approached, the large men stopped them. and said in a daunting voice, "You aren't allowed to go through." At that, B.I. Makian took out a copper coin and showed it to them. There was no need to show lower-level coins. One of the men who checked it spoke into his earpiece. "There is a copper-grade guest. Guide 4 people inside." And then opened the door with a friendly voice unlike before. "Welcome. Please enter Black Athena." The real entrance of Black Athena. As they entered, a beautiful woman in her early 20s was waiting there with her waiter outfit. She was there with 4 glasses of green martini and red cherries placed to greet them. "I shall guide you." Following her inside, another large hall appeared. The place was well soundproofed, and classical music was playing instead of the EDM outside. It was like entering another world. "Silence is so nice." Chen Yuan's expression brightened. On the other hand, Hu Bong's mood darkened. All the people inside were wearing fully covered clothes. This was more like a banquet hall. The large hall had an inner circle for the purpose of the stage, and tables were placed outside the area. As they said that, the beautiful woman who served them left after telling them to have a good time. "Is this it?" "We will. This is different from what we heard." Bai Makian was puzzled. The agent said if they went inside, a person would come to take them. But no one showed up here. I need to take a different approach. Chen Yuan knew of a way to meet the needed person directly without this method. But it was a bit extreme this time. It was then, someone approached their table. "You don't know how to use them?" Contrary to her pure voice, she was a woman with an alluring figure. Yu Sowa's expression went stiff at the woman wearing a red dress showcasing her breasts. "You? It has been long. Probably since the appointment ceremony." The 2 women seemed acquainted. The woman called him so high put her hands on the table, bent her upper body forward so that her breasts were on display for Chen Yuan and said, "I wanted to know the man who made one of the 3 SS class keepers retire, and he turns out to be the vice chairman of the famous Yongchun group." Her eyes sparkled with curiosity. Chen Yuan asked Yu Sowa, not interested in the woman at all. "Who is she?" At that question, Yu Sowa bit her lip and answered, "SS class keeper am so high." Chapter 118. Black Athena. Part 2. SS class gatekeepers. There were only 3 of them right now. Their abilities were so great that even A-class alphas could be taken down by each of them, and each could be called as chaos bringers. SS class gatekeeper? Chen Yuan's eyes brightened. This meant that the woman in front of him was as strong as Yu Sowa. It was a rare sight to meet an SS class keeper anywhere other than battlegrounds. However, Yu Sowa's expression wasn't good. She was staring at the woman with disgust. Im Sohai made a gesture and asked, "Same as ever. Still can't stand looking at my face?" Yu Sowa tried to make her stop her gesture by using her powers when Bi Mak Hien intervened. "You were talking about using this. Can you tell us what you mean?" Im Sohai smiled and then went back to looking at Chen Yuan. She placed her finger on the table, and as she dragged it back, she said, "You look more handsome than on the news. You are talented and handsome." So Wayuni gave up her work. Im Sohai seemed interested in Chen Yuan. When they first entered here, she was the one who noticed Yu Sowa, so she was curious. As far as she knew, Yu Sowa couldn't just quit like that. However, she was wondering if this man was attractive enough for her to give up on it, and he definitely was. "You are attractive." She patted the table and kept flirting. Seduction. But Chen Yuan didn't seem interested. "Answer the question you were asked." Im Sohai frowned. "How can he be so indifferent when I am here?" This was a first for her. She was always confident with her body, from a narrow waist to voluptuous breasts. She thought this man would definitely like her too. In fact, a lot of men liked her. Trying to act hard to get? Such an indifferent attitude stimulated her desire to win. She thought there was no reason why she couldn't have him. Im So-hai spoke with a smile. If I tell you, what can you do for me? It was a seduction trick she used the most. It was safe to say that if he said he would offer a drink outside, then he passed. But the words from Chen Youan were, "Your life is spared." Huh? Im So-hai's face went stiff. She even doubted her ears for a moment. Just now, what did you say? Do you have hearing problems? I said I would spare your life. Huh? Im So-hai exasperated. Since she became an SS class keeper, nobody has dared talk to her in such a way. No, this wasn't guts, it seemed like recklessness. Pwaha! A snorting sound in the ear. It was Yusowa who laughed. Until recently, she was upset with Im So-hai being here, but she was feeling better now. Grunt. Biting her lip, which was painted red, she asked. Spare my life? It's been a long time since I've seen such an arrogant man. But did that outstanding confidence come from your own strength? Or does it stem from So Wayuni over there? Shoo. Ah? She stopped talking when something touched her neck. When Hu Bong, who was next to Chen Youan, threatened her with his finger with sword energy embedded on it. Although she wasn't Murim, at the sharp sensation on her neck, she felt a chill run down her spine. Lady. Lord didn't tell you to speak what you want. He told you to answer the question. In front of Chen Youan, Hu Bong was a funny, light-hearted guy, but there was no forgiveness for anyone who was rude to his lord. With a stiff face, the woman spoke. There is a place. It is definitely good money. Especially considering such strong men. Lady. The warning ends. Hu Bong turned his head to some people approaching him from behind. 5 men and women, dressed in banquet attire, approached Hu Bong with angry faces. Im So-hai smiled and said, I believe in myself the most, but there are team members on whom I can count on too. You know, right? So Wayuni, SGK team members. A team led by Im So-hai. Hu Bong threatened her from behind. They approached the table with angry faces ready to fight, when a waiter appeared. No fighting inside Black Athena. If you want to fight, take this outside. That was the rule. And one of the waiters came up to Im So-hai and said, the VIP members' trading room is ready. As if feeling bad, Im So-hai said, what exquisite timing. It was unfortunate. I wanted to have a little more fun. She turned and tried to move, but Hu Bong stopped her. Lady. You haven't answered yet. Im So-hai's face turned red. Although she was suppressing her emotions as much as she could, now she felt insulted. I said no to fighting. Members. The waiter's voice got stronger, and he warned both Hu Bong and her. Another mess and the waiter was sure to send them out. Ha! If only we didn't meet here. Because she had work to do now, she tried to be reasonable. Shaking her head, she looked at Chen Youan and said, the rule is to put a coin in a martini and drink it. If you don't do that, you won't get anyone here. The way to trade. Surprisingly, the waiter didn't stop her. It seemed like irrelevant information to them. Let's meet another time. Vice Chairman. Im So-hai turned her head proudly. Hu Bong cleared the path he blocked so she could move. As she was passing, she looked at him and said, You are quite different from what you look like. Lady? Were you locked in a freezer for 1,000 years or something? Those words are used in historical drama. Huh. This was a way for her to get rid of anger. After she followed the waiter, Hu Bong spoke to Chen Youan with a serious face. Lord, that woman isn't an ordinary one. Seeing me and telling me that I have been trapped in ice, she seems to have intellect. Sit down. Hu Bong couldn't tell the difference between a joke and the truth. After he sat, Chen Youwen received the coin from Bai Mak Hien. A coin about the size that would be hard to swallow. Drink this while putting it in? The martini left by the waitress when they entered. It was used for this. However, it was strange to drink this. Vice Chairman. There's probably something vague about it. Rather, let me do it just to be sure. Bai Mak Hien looked at the coin and the drink suspiciously. Chen Youwen put his finger on them and asked. Nano. Analyze if poison is on them? I'll check. And Nano never took long. Neither the coin nor the drink is toxic. No poison? Neither had poison in them. Then why did she ask us to put the coin and drink? Nano gave the answer. If the two are mixed together, they cause strong toxicity the moment they come in contact with stomach acids. I see. Now it was solved. All elements needed to be there for the poison to take effect. The poison was a safety device used by the Black Athena. Even if a coin was given out, no one could detect anything on it, so there was no way public security would come for them. Smiling, he put the coin into the drink. And then took the glass. Vice Chairman. Bai Mak Hien was startled and tried to stop, but Chen Youwen swallowed it down in one shot. It didn't matter if he drank this. He had an indestructible body thanks to Nano, so it could decompose the poison. It is better if Bai Mak Hien took it, he would immediately die. No need. Chen Youwen, who didn't want to create a mess by telling them about the poison, didn't mention it. Decomposition of toxic substances in the body is done. The poison has already been detoxified. And before long, a waiter came. Copper trading room is ready. Please ask the companions to wait until the talks are over. Hu Bong tried to protest. Lord, you can't go in aloe, enough. Wait here. But at Chen Youwen's words, he sat down again. After he instructed them to wait, he was guided by the waiter and headed to another entrance on the other side of the hall. Upon entering that place, he saw 7 doors. Among the doors painted with Athena in black, gold, silver, copper, red, blue, and white, the waiter for copper opened the door. Please head down the hallway. The hallway was straight. And as he went inside, a smaller hall appeared. There was only one table and chair. Shoo! As soon as he entered, Chen Youwen smiled. The entire floor was equipped with a ventilation system, so he couldn't use internal energy to detect the sound. In addition, there seemed to be several other safety devices. Thud. Something which looked like a wall went down and blocked the entrance. It was pretty thick. Please take a seat. An altered voice spoke from the speaker. Chen Youwen walked leisurely and sat down on the chair. Whoa! A hologram was formed opposite to the table as the light came from the ceiling. A man in a black mask and tuxedo appeared. He politely greeted with one arm stretched outside and the other one in his stomach. Welcome. Welcome, member. Chen Youwen looked at it and asked. You don't seem to prefer face-to-face meetings. I am sorry if you feel uncomfortable. This is for security reasons. Well, it doesn't matter. Thank you. We will notify you before the trade. First of all, you must never speak out about any transaction which happens here. Second, the basic interview is about 10 minutes, and you have to pay another 10 minutes if needed. Wing. Both sides of the table were split in half, revealing a glass table. A glass and something which looked like a rose-shaped faucet appeared. Red liquid flowed from the faucet and filled the glass. Since you are here for the first time, let me explain. If you do not take this antidote in 10 minutes, the toxins in your body will spread all throughout. Please remember that. A timer was marked on the table. The poison was a device they used for trade. Trading starts the moment you drink the antidote. The masked man held out his hand and showed it. And when Chen Yuan drank it, the timer started. Then let's start trading. Do you want to sell or buy? So they didn't just sell, but also bought. Buy. Alright. I'll let you know before we start. Please note that there are items that are subject to transaction restrictions depending on your level. So what do you want to buy? Information. Please note that the price varies depending on how specific the information is and how difficult it is to obtain. What is the information you are looking for? At that, Chen Yuan directly asked. MS Group. When he said MS Group, the man didn't answer. Even though it was a hologram, Chen Yuan noticed the man's eyes shaking. I want all the information you have on MS Group. Even better if you can give me their location and how to connect to them. At that, the man glanced somewhere and then opened his mouth. Sorry. The information you asked for can't be given at your trading level. It means he won't give. Then at which level? The information you mentioned is open to VIP members. Sorry for not being of any help. If you have other stuff, I can respond to that. If not, I'll close this INTE. Is it possible to trade if I get to the VIP room? At Chen Yuan's question, the man gave a straight answer. Not possible without membership. If I really need this information. The masked man responded in a rather cold voice. We will expunge you according to the rules of Black Athena. It meant to be killed. Chen Yuan seemed interested. And how do you plan to do that? The trading hours end soon. I warn you. If we don't open the door to this room, you'll have your organs melted, and you'll be a corpse within 5 minutes. If you keep insisting, that is what happens. The masked man blinked, and the rose faucet was back on the table. Now you have 6 minutes and 35 seconds left. Please choose. I need to get any information related to MS Group. Then the trade will end here. Please forgive me for not being able to see you off on the way to the underworld. The VIP room is in the basement? Huh? For a moment, the masked man was confused. At first glance, people would think that the VIP rooms were on the same floor, but the VIP room was in the basement. I guess it must be right. It was a guess based on the strongest energy around, and it was correct. Chen Yuan said to him. I also warn you. If you don't guide me to the VIP room right now, I won't leave your limbs intact. Huh? The masked man glared at Chen Yuan as if it was ridiculous. It was absurd to threaten a hologram when he was the one going to die. Crazy bastard. The masked man said as he looked at Chen Yuan. And then turned off the hologram. Pick. In another room on the other side of the trading, full of monitors with CCTV videos. Several people were inside. A man with a mask and tuxedo on the hologram device asked. Is it off? Yes. Right. How the hell did the idiot know where the VIP room is? The VIP room has an elevator. It reaches the basement when the transaction starts. So most people don't notice it. Absurd guy. He was right in front of me and threatening me. A man in front of the monitor shook his head. And then asked. What should we do? Should we wait until automatic expunge is started? At that, the man in the tuxedo shook his head. No. The expungement is confirmed, so why wait that long for him to die? Push the deals of the other copper members. Yes. The man in front of the monitor was about to press the button for gas release. As soon as the poison gas was inhaled, one would die within 30 seconds. But what is he doing? Chen Yuan, seen through the monitor, was approaching the wall. The wall was sturdy and made of a special alloy thicker than the other sides of the room. Even a bomb couldn't break it open. What is with him? What is that bastard doing now? The man in front of the monitor laughed at the question of the masked man. There is a ventilation system in that room, so he can't use anything. It looks like he is trying to do something stupid. Should we keep an eye on him? He must be stupid. I wondered what a great guy he was because he came in the news, but he hardly understood. Cha-cha-cha. At that moment, a sharp sound was heard. Ugh. Chen Yuan on the monitor was holding an energy sword against the wall. But why were they hearing the sound from this side? How is? At that moment, Chen Yuan kicked the wall with his foot. Bang! At that time, the wall they were standing close to flew off. Flustered, those who were standing pulled out their weapons. SRNG! 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 It was unbelievable. Cutting down a special alloy thick wall with bare hands. How can we let the gas enter when the ventilation? Shoo! Before the masked man could speak, Chen Yuan reached out his hand and the weapons they were carrying moved away from their hands and landed on the floor in front of Chen Yuan. Thursday thud. Ah! My blade. It didn't end there. When Chen Yuan pretended to clench his fist, the swords on the floor shattered like glass. Crack! What nonsensical power! They were perplexed, but Chen Yuan suddenly approached the masked man. He then grabbed him by the neck. Grab! Quack! I warned you. Slash! As soon as he said that, Chen Yuan's energy sword cut his right arm. Chapter 119. Black Athena. Part 3. Quack. The masked man in a tux gripped his severed hand. He looked at Chen Yuan, who was looking down at him, with frightened eyes. What the hell is he? A monster? Those who dealt with information knew that Chen Yuan was related to the Sky Demon Order. But they were overconfident in their own defense system, the gas and the poison, so they never imagined that things could turn out like this. He remembered what happened 2 hours ago. The Black Athena's second master gathered all the people. The vice-chairman of the Yongchun group might come? The vice-chairman made headlines in the news. The fact that the Yongchun group was the descendant of the demonic cult couldn't be unknown. Recently, rumors that the demonic cult was being resurrected have caused a stir in the Murim world. Isn't that Yongchun group the demonic cult one? Why would they come to Black Athena? For the forces of evil, the relationship with the demonic cult was rather subtle. Although they were known to be the evil kind just like the forces of evil, they acted proud and said they were different. Although they weren't in direct confrontation, the demonic cult strongly despised others and never came in contact with the forces of evil. According to the information, they are aiming for the wealth and power of the Black Athena to help with their resurrection. The second master warned that the demonic cult would come in contact with them with ill intentions. Thus, if they showed any signs of making a fuss in the pretext of a deal, the workers were ordered to expunge them. However, wouldn't that make us enemies of the demonic cult? They have the power to even take down the main office of the association. Shouldn't we be more careful? Naturally, some people were concerned. But the second master said, "Don't worry. If we do it, the Murim Association will come to our side." The Murim Association? They will interfere? Yes. The demonic cult and the Murim Association are currently at war. It wouldn't be hard for them to interfere. Besides, the one called Chun Musong is the biggest enemy of the association, so they will make sure to use this chance to repay the disgrace they faced. As people heard it, no one felt concerned anymore. In addition, in the absence of the master, the second master held all powers in Black Athena, so everyone would have to obey his orders. Quack. If only the master was here, this wouldn't have happened. It was too late to regret. Things happened and this monster was now right in front of him. Guide me to the VIP room. You don't want to lose your other arm, do you? Chen Yuan gave a daunting command. At that, the masked man endured the pain and reminded. Yeah, if you don't take the antidote, you will die. Are you sure you can threaten me? The gas was stopped, but what about the poison? No matter how strong the man was, in order to clear the poison with only cultivation, it would take a long time. At least, that was what he thought. Are you talking about this? When Chen Yuan raised his hand, something like black gas rose from his skin. The black liquid floated in the air. And Chen Yuan snapped his finger. Pang! The black liquid split into several directions and penetrated the bodies of the Black Athena staff who were struggling with anxious faces. Quack! What is this? Flustered, they touched the parts where the liquid entered and tried to squeeze it out. Ugh! Poison? The poison was spreading through their bodies, so they tried to start cultivating. 6 people sat on the floor at the same time. The masked man couldn't help but be shocked. No way. The poison they were proud of was now inside their bodies. They weren't sure, but it turned out that Chen Yuan had cleared the poison. At their shock, Chen Yuan said, "Last warning. If you want your other limbs to stay intact, guide me to the VIP room. 6th basement floor, Black Athena." Unlike the normal hall, this was a huge circular hall. In such a place, a door made of tempered glass and about 10 meters of space was arranged outside the circle. However, in this place, people in tight-fitting gray tights locked up one by one were displayed like items. What was peculiar was that the eyes of the people in that glass space were out of focus. They had blank expressions like they had lost it. Thud. A man in a blue tux with a mustache and pomade hair touched one of the glasses. This is a 3rd-generation improved model. The man inside the glass was called to be a 3rd-generation improved model. There was a woman in a red dress waving her hand at the sight of the man in the glass. It was So Hai, the SS class keeper. Is he unconscious? Without the owner's command, thinking and cognition are still not possible. The risk can be regarded as 0. Ha ha ha. The man who was smiling and explaining was Bian Ho Young, the 2nd master of Black Athena. He was the 2nd in command and exclusive to the VIP members. From gold members with high loyalty and high purchase rates, the managers come down themselves and don't just appear as holograms. VIP members have many privileges, including their ability to bring in up to 5 companions. So So Hai's team members came along. His chin is unique, So Hai said while looking at the one in the glass. Bian Ho Young answered with a smile. The 3rd gen has improved structure and genes, so the body changes are more unique and colorful. As the jaw moves, it turns into a larger mouth. Oh. The man with glasses frowned when he heard the thing about the jaw. It just felt pretty creepy. Although the mutant does look pretty ugly, it has amazing abilities. I can guarantee that. It is far superior to the 2nd-gen models with carnivorous mammalian genes. The people in the glass space that Bian Ho Young pointed to were unusual. Some had long ears and others had leopard patterns. According to him, these were genetically engineered humans. The price is obviously higher than the 2nd-gen 1B class core per object. Huh. At Bian Ho Young's words, So Hai's team members were shocked. Unlike other transactions, this floor would only accept cores as a form of payment. Even a B-class core was known to be very expensive. It isn't that expensive. This 3rd-gen model can easily deal with Supermaster level Murims and A-class keepers. Dealing with an A-class keeper? Isn't it unreasonable to think that engineered humans could exhibit such crazy things? One of So Hai's team members, a 2-meter-tall man, said while clicking his tongue. As an A-class keeper, it felt like Bian Ho Young's words were targeted at him. Supermasters and A-class keepers were those in charge of people's safety. You don't seem to believe it. I won't believe it unless I see it with my own eyes. Hoo. Then shall we take time to check out the product? Number 27 glass restraint released. Wying. At Byun Ho-young's words, the glass went up and opened. As the door opened, the muscular man inside stepped forward. If the A-class keeper Pa Jin-sang checks it, he might be able to trust us more. At Byun Ho-young's words, Pa Jin-sang's eyes turned sharp. Although they had come here several times before, no one knew their names, but since this place dealt with information, they knew who the guests were. Pa Jin-sang looked at I'm so high asking for permission. Good. Pa Jin-sang took off his tux and walked to the middle. I believe that you won't ask me to compensate you if the product is defiled? Of course not. However, be careful not to get hurt. Huh. Doesn't apply to me. Pa Jin-sang spoke in a confident voice. His ability was super strength. He could exert force up to 100 tons. With that strength, he could easily crush steel. He was a keeper who defeated dangerous gate entities with just his fists. You can order the product right now too. And if it doesn't work, you can ask for a change too. Number 23, defeat him. As soon as Byun Ho-young's words fell, the man in gray tights ran towards him. The movement was incredibly fast. Like bouncing off the floor and reaching the middle of the room at once. Puck. The man in tights who was hit by Pa Jin-sang bounced back. The keepers who watched it cheered. Wow. They assumed that the genetically made model was of no match to them. However, Pa Jin-sang's expressions changed. He clenched his fist, but it didn't exactly feel like he hit something. What is this? This weird feeling? It felt more foreign than dealing with gate objects. A very bad feeling. Fat. The guy in gray tights, who bounced back, flew towards the man as soon as his foot touched the ground. He raised his fists upwards and tried to smash Pa Jin-sang. Pa Jin-sang, who stopped it, tried to land a hit, but something completely different happened. Swash. Gasp. From the elbow, the arms were split open. And then long arms which seemed made of saw blades came out. The same with legs as well. Swash. He opened his mouth, and the chin cracked. The ugly appearance didn't look human at all. It literally seemed like an insect. Mantis? Im So-hai mumbled. The second master Byun Ho-young smiled and answered. Right answer. This man was a human with a mantis gene. Honestly, calling him human was ridiculous. This is a monster. Pa Jin-sang had outstanding durability and strength, but he didn't want to block those long arms, so he tried to avoid being hit. Shh. Just by spreading the long arms, he managed to grab the opponent at once. This bastard. Grab. Pa Jin-sang tried to grab the arm and break it. However, despite his ability, he couldn't break off the mantis man's arms. What power does this one have? Rather, the area around the hand changed. Slash. Quack. Pa Jin-sang's palm tore. The moment he released his hand in shock, the mantis opened the forked jaw and bit Pa Jin-sang's shoulder. Crack. The ferocious teeth hurt the man. They dug in so easily that it was as if the mantis tried to rip it off. Ack. As Pa Jin-sang screamed, second master Byun Ho-young snapped his fingers and shouted. Snap. Stop. As soon as the command fell, the mantis opened its mouth. Blood kept dripping down the pierced shoulder and the teeth marks were visible. Quack, quack. Pa Jin-sang's eyes tinged with fear as he groaned. It was the first time he had experienced this kind of fear since the gate battles. Strong Pa Jin-sang like this? Sigh. His colleagues were shocked and so was I'm So-hai. Byun Ho-young smiled and said to her. How was it? Enough? This was a super amount of power, so admiringly she said, "Is there anything stronger than this?" "There is a 4th gen improved version." Shockingly, there was a stronger one. If the 3rd gen made with insect genes were this strong, how strong could the next gen be? "The 4th gen is really expensive and we have a limited number." "How many?" "I was only asked to sell 2 of them and the 2 aren't up for brokering." "Reason?" "Up to the 3rd gen, they are possible to produce when the genes are available, but when it comes to the 4th gen, it is tough." Hearing that, Sohai was curious. "How much?" 3 A-class cores." "Huh?" The outrageous payment shocked her. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that getting a single A-class core was almost impossible, but 3? How can the price go up like that? "Because it is worthy." "You did see this one, right? A 3rd gen can easily overwhelm an A-class keeper. And that one can easily surpass it." "Nevertheless, the payment is so." The Japanese, Russians, and Americans have bought 14 of them at a higher price in the auction markers. Comparatively, this is a lower price. At those words, Sohai's eyes lit up. It was said that the price paid for it was extremely high, but it was something else that drew her attention. "Oh my! Are you going to auction them on the market?" At that, Byun Ho Young realized he had said something he shouldn't have and went silent. The auction wasn't something he had the liberty to speak about. "Ah, I made a mistake. There is so much competition in the black market rather than auctions." Click. The earpiece which was plugged in his ear beforehand suddenly began to give static. "Second Master, we have a problem." It was a call from the control room. In response, Byun Ho Young looked at Sohai and said, "Could you give me a moment?" And then, he moved slightly away from them. "What is it?" "He is on the way to the 6th floor basement." "He?" "The vice chairman of the Yongchun group." "What?" Byun Ho Young couldn't hide his shock. To get here means to pass through several defense systems. If he wanted to get here, he would have been blocked by the other rooms. "So how?" "What about the poison?" "I don't know, sir. We didn't know until he even got into the elevator." "What are you spouting now?" "How did he?" Seeing that Cooper is accompanying him, it seems like he is taking the manager's aisle. The paths for guests and managers were different. Despite the tight surveillance, the cameras in the manager path were few. And there was an elevator there. "Stop the elevator." The elevator was made of superalloy just in case. It had the strength to even withstand an explosion. Already shut it and send fighters to the elevator. It was then. Slash. The entrance of the elevator at the entrance of the hall split and then. Bang. Broke. Someone appeared from the smoke. It was Chen Yoan in his usual attire. Vice Chairman Chan Musong? Sohai couldn't hide her curiosity. The man who appeared after breaking an elevator definitely didn't have good intentions. Chen Yoan said as he walked in. "Are you the representative of Black Athena?" Chen Yoan's eyes went to Byun Ho Young, and the man's face contorted. In the middle of the most important deal. Everything was disturbed. At that time, a man with curly hair, one of Sohai's team members, stepped ahead and said, "Our deal isn't done yet, what is this now? Go back in." Swish. Chen Yoan ignored him and passed by. Angry at that, the curly-haired man tried to show off his abilities. "Cheeky bastard. Don't bother me." Swish. Chen Yoan lightly waved his hand and the man's body bowed to the side. Whoa. Yuk. Bang. His upper body went into the tempered glass and stuck into it. The entire team couldn't hide their shock at the sight of an A-class keeper being taken down in an instant. "Number 23, get rid of him!" Second Master shouted in panic. The mantis man in the middle flew for Chen Yuan with the jaws wide open. Fat. What kind of joke is this? Chen Yuan stretched out his right hand. The mantis man who was aiming to attack him stopped midair and the legs shuddered. In that state, Chen Yuan clenched his fist. Crack. Quack. The mantis man's body folded like a ball and rolled on the ground. What is that? At that scene, Pa Jinseng fell into despair. It was absurd to see the mantis which caused him pain and anguish die at a single gesture. Chapter 120. Black Athena. Part 4. No. Second Master Bian Hoyoung couldn't hide his shock. The mantis, a genetically engineered model, died so absurdly. He thought that it would at least earn some time, but the gap was too wide to cover. How on earth can he have so much power to do that with just internal energy? If he hadn't mastered martial arts, he would have thought that Chen Yuan was a person with ability. As Bian Hoyoung was a member of the forces of evil, he wasn't famous, but he was a superior master. That one is a monster. And because of that, he was able to guess Chen Yuan's skills. Damn that Yom Heikyun! Bian Hoyoung cursed the members of the Murim Association. He fell in love with the theory the man said and believed in the poison they made, but everything was in vain now. I can't help it anymore. Once the opponent's strengths were understood, the next choice was obvious. Release all restraints. Wing. At his command, all the glass doors opened. From the first to the third gen, 29 genetically weaponized humans walked out. If this person had to be stopped, all of them would have to be used. Im Sohai shouted at that. Look here, Second Master. Our deal isn't done yet. The deal was very important for her. This was being done after she received the orders of the Director of the National Defense, and if she failed, the ongoing plan would be back to the starting point. Ah! At her cry, Bian Hoyoung's eyes lit up. The clever man thought of a way to take advantage of the moment. Member. That man is going against the rules of Black Athena. There isn't much we can do. TCH. Im Sohai was irritated. It was because she understood what the man was trying to hint at. This clever raccoon bastard is trying to make me move. Unless one was an idiot, they could have easily noticed it. She was an SS class keeper. There were only 3 people who were as strong as her. And this man wanted her help to stop Chen Yuan. If the member can stop him, I will listen to you as much. Whoa. Hick. Before he could even finish his words, a profound energy pulled him. His body, which was floating, moved to Chen Yuan. Don't use your brain. There was no way Chen Yuan would let him do what he wanted. This is insane. Bian Hoyoung tried to use his own internal energy, but nothing happened. And was caught by Chen Yuan's hand. It was then. Bang! Bian Hoyoung, who was up, fell to the ground. A tremendous pressure which was created prevented him from moving further. Chen Yuan looked at Im Sohai right away. Don't look at me with those eyes. There are rules and morality in everything, and you are the one who ignored it. Are you going to interfere? Interfere? That is funny. I was the first to come here and deal with him. Don't tell me you have forgotten that? She was right. Chen Yuan was the one who broke the deal in the middle. However, he couldn't make concessions after what she did. Right. Hurry up and fight. Bian Hoyoung, who was released from the energy, liked what was going on. Banter usually leads to fighting, and once they start to fight, he was planning to escape into the underground shelter. It is a pity that I won't get to see the fun scene of the demonic cult's best being defeated by a keeper, but I at least will get to live. That was the most important thing, life. However, what Chen Yuan said was unexpected. Okay. Then I will wait until your deal is done. Byun Ho-young's expression grew distorted. This wasn't what he hoped for. If they continued their trade, Im So-hai wouldn't have to fight. Such a gentleman. Thank you for understanding. After my trade is done, the vice chairman can take care of his business. She immediately accepted it. This bitch. He wanted them to fight, but now that they had reached an agreement, he was shocked. Looking at Chen Yuan, he knew that the guy wasn't the friendly kind, and asking him to let her complete her trade, wouldn't that mean she wanted to fight? But what was this? Huh? Did that raccoon bastard think I would fall for his plan? Im So-hai had no intention of fighting Chen Yuan. She couldn't even fathom how capable he was, and she wasn't the kind to enter fights for no reason. However, her team members weren't of the same opinion. Team leader. That person made Yongang like that and you are letting him go? This isn't what we do, right? They trusted Im So-hai, the SS-class keeper, and thought that she would subdue Chen Yuan. It isn't that I don't care. Im So-hai glared back at her teammates. It meant to shut their mouths. They were dissatisfied, but she had absolute authority, so they could no longer express their opinion. Okay, then should we continue trading? Im So-hai smiled at the second master. At that, he bit his lip. As soon as the deal is over, I am sure that he will kill me. He needed to plan. After thinking for a while, Byun Ho-young decided to take the risk. Well, nothing could be done. Then let's go. I've seen you take an interest in the black market. Ah. Even if she didn't say it out loud, Byun Ho-young noticed her reactions. I won't make unreasonable demands. If you protect me from that person, I will give you the right to attend the black market. And I will give you 5 items of your choice for free, so please help me. Im So-hai's eyes fluttered. It was because the proposal was unconventional. Besides, the national defense was showing great interest in genetic technology. It was an opportunity to obtain the objects and information they desired without spending any government funds. Ah. She couldn't help but be worried, and the deal was different. Moreover, Byun Ho-young didn't ask her to take down the man, he only asked for protection. He just asked to make sure he wasn't hurt. It could be possible. Judging from her conversation with Chen Yuan, it seemed like he wasn't the reckless kind. She wasn't sure if she could persuade him enough and take the role of a mediator. Fine. Keep your promise. I will. She then turned to Chen Yuan and opened her mouth cautiously. Vice Chairman Chen. If it isn't disrespectful, may I ask for a favor as a member of the National Defense? Favor? Yes. If there is no malicious relationship with the second master of Black Athena, I would like the vice chairman to ensure his safety. Wouldn't it be better to get what we want without bloodshed? She came up with the right choice of words. This way, there would be no need to argue with each other. Chen Yuan said. If the information I want is handed over, there will be no bloodshed. If he was given the information right away, he wouldn't have even come to this place. Im So-hai, who wasn't sure of what he wanted, was happy. Oh my. I see why Yuni moved to you, he he he. When he answered the way he wanted, she looked at Byun Ho-young. You heard it. Second master. Yes. He didn't want this, but Byun Ho-young had no reason to hesitate if his life was being spared for information. So he asked. May I ask what kind of information you want? All information you have on MS Group. How to get in contact with them and their hideout location. At those words, Byun Ho-young's eyes fluttered. His expression hardened right away. If this was asked in a normal situation, he would have said it was too tough to get that, but now the situation was different. Damn it. Why did it have to be the MS Group? The MS Group wasn't something he could touch. If he did, then Black Athena itself could come and make them disappear. I need to pretend like I don't know. The man here didn't know if he had the information or not, so he could take the risk. Hiding his expression as much as he could, Byun Ho-young said. The information on that is. But then an unexpected thing happened. The hall manager said that only those in charge of VIP members know of it. You aren't going to say you don't know, right? Everything seemed to have blown over. Byun Ho-young, who was planning to lie, was shocked. What? That bastard. That bastard was currently trembling in the elevator. Byun Ho-young bit his lip. If blown over, those people will annihilate Black Athena. Escaping from their hands would be impossible. Damn it. Any smooth transaction seemed unreasonable here. So he shouted. Kill him. All the modified humans from 1st to 3rd gen who were waiting for the orders tried to attack, but Chen Yo-won clicked his tongue and lowered his palm. TCH. Bang. 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 At that moment, all the modified ones knelt on the floor. Starting with the one who looked like a tiger, a grasshopper, and many others. All kneeling down, unable to get up. And no way. Byun Ho-young couldn't help but be astonished. Not one, but 29 of the modified humans were suppressed at the same time. Who the hell is he? This wasn't something that even a warrior of the 5 great warriors could do. The tremendous energy emanating from all directions was so great that he was unable to breathe. Do you still think that these toys would work? Chen Yo-won lowered his palm further. Krarik. The bodies kneeling down were on the ground and even dented the floor. Kwaak. Kiik. The modified humans died while howling a non-human wail. No. No. At that, Byun Ho-young felt like he had to run away at any cost. 5 meters ahead was another exit. Fat. Byun Ho-young flew towards it. Stupid man. Chen Yo-won reached out and pretended to pull him back. The massive energy suppressed him. He couldn't even lift his foot and was pulled towards Chen Yo-won again. TCH. Im So-hai put on an annoyed expression. She tried to solve this smoothly, but all plans were in vain. Even if she didn't want to fight, she was being made to fight. I can't help it. Vice Chairman was the one who brought this, wound. Ack. At that moment, she felt a pain in her heart. As if something sharp had penetrated her. She grabbed her chest and looked at Chen Yo-won. It was the heart sword. Why you, coward? I knew you would attack soon. Why would you think I would listen to you even after seeing my skills? You. I'm So-hai's beautiful face was distorted. It was the first time that she had been subjected to such treatment before showing her skills. It was shameful because her team members were in there. Ack. I will kill you. How desperate she had to be for her to move with those bloody eyes. Push. The heart sword pierced her heart again and again. Kayak. I'm So-hai rolled on the floor screaming in pain. Chen Yo-won muttered in a dry voice. I don't have the time to hang out with you. He didn't bother checking her abilities at all. Team leader. Her team members were shocked and called for her. However, not a single person dared to step at the man who did this to her. Want to try? Despite Chen Yo-won's provocation, not a single person moved. Seeing how easily the SS class keeper was taken down, who could believe themselves and do this? You people at least have learning ability. Chen Yo-won smiled. Meanwhile, he caught the neck of Byun Ho-young with his hand. Grab. Quack. In a savage voice, Chen Yo-won said to the man trembling in fear. Now should we hear the things I want to know?